Hi everybody, my name is Lola Lombard and I am a wearable artist. I call my company Lola Lombard Wearable Paintings because I'm currently doing a lot of paintings on clothing, but I didn't always. I have done lots of different techniques on wearable art, and I've done everything from creating things that look pretty normal, fashion design, shall we say, to very elaborate costume design, and everything in between. I've worked in theater, film, all kinds of things on lots of exhibits. So today I thought I would do an exhibit of the last 30 years of my work. This is currently the kind of thing that I'm doing now, which we're not really going to talk about much, but I just want you to see that I'm making some things that are good for everyday life. I'm wearing some of it now. And this is a relatively new thing because of a printing technique that has changed. So follow me and I'm going to take you back in time about 30 years. And we're going to see what happened before you could do print-on-demand work. So I'm going to walk this way and Debbie's going to follow me. Okay, all right, so hello. You can zoom in a little bit, Debbie, thank you. Okay, great, that's great, thank you. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to show you this lovely piece here. This piece is 30 years old, and I'm going to try to zoom down a little bit with myself here, just to get this so that it's above the comments.
And a long delay.
Okay. So this piece here is all applique. I call this the Crazy Man vest. This is actually the spirit of somebody I know, and I miss them very much. So they were out of town, and this was to be my future husband, although I didn't know it then. And he works in drapery design, and he always has a lot of remnants. Using scraps and whatever I have around me is something that I've always tried to do. As an artist, of course, that helps because you're spending less on your project. So you'll find that most artists are very resourceful. And so this was all kinds of little pieces of fabrics from so many projects I had previously done. And then I missed my husband, so I went, excuse me, I'm just turning the camera a little bit. I went to the store, bought the rest of what I needed, and created this vest for my husband. So this looks like a kind of a crazy wild guy holding a bunch of bottles. There's probably, I don't know how many different fabrics used in this piece. Debbie, maybe you want to zoom in on some of these. Debbie's got a delay, so she can't really see as much as I'm showing you here. You can see a lot of different types of fabrics, a lot of things that would have been used for drapery, like Dupioni silk, crushed velvet, and he has crushed velvet eyes, striped damask teeth. Oh, you got that? Okay, thanks. And even fleece. I was making a series of fleece scarves, and then his outfit wound up to be fleece because that's what I had left over. And then I have a degree actually in theater and in costume design, but I really like seeing stitching. So in this case, I did top stitching all over, and it's multiple layers of top stitching. And this was a surprise for my boyfriend. He came home and he was like, wow! So he's had it for a long time and doesn't actually fit as well 30 years later, but that's okay. That's why it's a vest. You could just wear it open, right? Okay, I want to show you a couple of other pieces. At the same time, I was doing, this is 30 years old, and so you can see more applique work here. Debbie, can you zoom in a little bit, please? Thank you. Great. I'm just going to alter this a little bit. Okay. All right. So this piece here, hey, Bardia, thanks for joining me. I'm so glad that you're here. This piece says XXX Ray Vision. It's pretty wild and crazy. That's because this is a pretty sheer fabric. And it's got the crushed velvet, same crushed velvet on the vest. and it's got eyes all over it. So it's just like a funny piece to be like, are you looking through me or am I looking through you? So this piece is quite old. It has a lot of the same fabrics that are used here, and that's 30 years old. Okay, so now we're going to move over to the Chica Chica skirt. The Chica Chica skirt is right here, and this piece, we're good, thank you. So this piece is also made out of a combination of fashion and drapery fabrics, and all applique work, and some of it's freeform work. That's what's in here. This is like a sparkly stretch fabric, and then there's a couple of patches that went on top. So these buttons, these were my mother's buttons from the 60s, and I want to show you, well, I'll show you the back and then I'll show you the inside. This is the back, and you know, something like this would be really great today, and it's hard to believe that this is 30 years old, but these are all different scraps of fabrics. You can see the X-ray vision dress fabric right here, and then lots of different ribbons that I had that complete the look. And then at the bottom here, it says love in iron-on patches. And this was this is sort of a feminist piece, because when, you know, sometimes we walk around and get catcalls, and I wanted to sort of take back that, that saying and make a beautiful piece that celebrated femininity. So here we are. Okay, the next piece is really exciting. This is the robot dress. I'm going to show you a quick picture of everybody wearing some of these pieces that were made around the same time. And the robot dress is right here. And here we are. Zoom in. Okay, so this piece, I started with the fabric. This was a tan fabric, silk, and it's painted with acrylics. And then on top is, this is a bodysuit that I got at Victoria's Secret, I think. And then I just continued to paint on it. I believe, I mean, this is pretty old, so even I don't totally remember, but I think that a lot of this is black light paint. I used to go to nightclubs a lot back then, so this is something that, you know, if you wore it in a nightclub, it would light up in certain ways. Bardia, I love all these that you're showing. Thank you, Bardia. I'll show you the back. It's also painted. And what's really interesting about this piece is that now this term for decorating is called surface design. But back when I made this 30 years ago, there was no term surface designer. In fact, people would say to me, why are you making that? What's that for? Where are you going to wear that? And I always thought that was strange, because I felt compelled to make these pieces. They were responses to my existence in the world. They were playful. They were colorful art. It's my way of turning what I see in front of me, walking sculpture, out in the world. And so I just thought it was very funny that people were asking me these practical questions. This is art. We don't have to be practical. Fashion design is a more practical expression, where this is wearable art. But wearable art is something that most people don't really understand. And, you know, we don't have to understand it. That's the beautiful thing about wearable art. We just have to have an emotional response. We have to be delighted or surprised, or, you know, feel the excitement of what we're looking at. And I think, you know, this is not the most practical piece. However, if you're on stage, it's very practical. So, you know, it just depends who you are and why you're wearing it. And I'm really glad that I could introduce you to the term surface designer. let's move on through time to 2008. So this is what I call the Obama dress. This dress was made for the inauguration of Obama in 2008. I was so excited to have Obama as our president, and I felt a really big step for America. And I wanted to celebrate that with a lot of my favorite things as motifs on this dress. And I wore this dress to Obama's inauguration balls in Washington, D.C., which this is the area that I grew up in, and some of that, you know, gets into my work. All artists, wherever they're from, some of their inspiration of, you know, who they are and where they're from gets into their work. So I want to show you a few things on this dress. This dress is also considered sort of a performance piece. So what happens when I would wear this dress is that it would become talking points. And, you know, these different things that you'd see on the dress, everyone would talk about together. So what we see here is we start off with July 4th, and here's the Capitol with the fireworks. And then I'll just show you a few things. Of course, I have the president. I have my favorite. So I had Obama here, Lincoln, and George Washington. And then I also had Sitting Bull, because let's not forget that this was the Native Americans' land before it was ours. And then, I mean, it belongs to all of us now in a patriotic sense, but really, you know, it's none of our land. It's the earth, and that's why we need to take care of it. We are only here temporarily, and we want the earth to last as long as we can. So we have here, Let Freedom Ring, and it's a peace sign with two doves. I have Reach for Peace here, life, liberty, happiness. The back has the presidential seal, which I changed to Obama slogans of hope and change, yes we can. There's a peace sign. And then over here we have the Statue of Liberty's torch. And then on the other side, the Statue of Liberty's face. And walking in this dress is very exciting. So people come up to me and they just want me to turn around and show everything and talk about it. It's very exciting. It's really a dress where you can become friends with everyone that you meet. And in fact, I have a little picture of that. So this dress was shown in the Huffington Post in 2012 when Obama won the presidency again. And so I got to wear it to the second inaugural ball for him. So this was a picture that we took for the Huffington Post. We went over, my photographer and I went over to Union Station, which has gorgeous architecture, and photographer is Doug Sanford. And he took this picture, and you can see what happens. There's just people that just come up, and they're all different people. They just start like going, what is that? Why are you wearing that? Tell me all about it. And so, sorry for the glare, everybody. But, and this is what happens. So I typically just turn around and we all talk, and it's a wonderful, positive discussion. This is a print that I made. Oops, if you look over here, this lady out of the way here. This is a print that I made around the same time, and this is of Washington, D.C., just, you know, the Capitol, the Washington Monument, the fireworks for July 4th, peace, liberty, and the cherry trees at the bottom. So in the same spirit as a dress done at the same time, because of course there's only one dress. Now we're going to zoom forward in time. We're going to cross through this area here, which is what I am doing now, which is my wearable paintings, and it's sportswear. And then we're going to move over to a dress that I didn't make. This is a dress that I found. Again, you can come closer. Thanks. Again, you can, artists are very resourceful. And when I saw this lovely bridal gown with all this gorgeous white silk, untouched, hanging up at a thrift shop, oh, I just had to have it. I knew what a canvas this would be. This dress is by Jenny Lee Bridal. It was so beautiful, even I was scared to touch it. I thought, you know, how could I do anything? But then on the other hand, it was just so beautiful. I thought, why not, right? So it took me about 4 years to convince myself to go ahead and paint on this dress, because I really didn't know if I was gonna like it more. And this is what happened. So I guess I was a little scared, because when you paint directly on clothing, you really only have one chance. It's all completely permanent. So again, I'm painting here with acrylic dyes. It's a little different from acrylic paints, as in the robot dress. And I start with a different process in this case. I come up with different motifs that I'm going to use and the palette that I'm going to paint in. And then I make kind of big sketchy motifs on paper. Then I pin them all over to the white dress so that I can plan out where my focuses are going to be on the whole garment. And then little by little, I take off each one and I start in-painting those motifs and getting tighter and tighter and filling in around the motifs. I'm going to show you the back. I also have a video of the process playing behind me, so as I move, you may see me working on the dress. And on the video that you're seeing, and you're in perfect shot, Debbie, you can see that is our model EPEC wearing the dress. It's going to replay in a second, and you'll be able to see, here I am. You want to zoom in a little bit? This is, here I am pinning the motifs right on the dress. You can see the paper, and then I'm working to mark in some of these motifs. I'm drawing a bird right here. And then starting to work on these paints and starting to paint it all in. So this is some pictures of during that process as the dress was getting more and more filled, and there I am finishing the back of the dress. So it's a good time to zoom out and see the back of this dress. It's very elaborate. Not all brides want to look like, you know, the usual white wedding gown thing. Some brides are independent thinkers and they love color. And in this case, this is a little on the, maybe like a circus motif with all of the stripes and multicolor. And it's a fantastic celebratory theme for a wedding. So my mannequin is a little bigger than this dress. So this is a temporary ribbon that I put here to hold it onto the dress. But in reality, this comes off and the dress comes together for a smaller chest size. Okay, well, I'm so glad that you all joined me today for the retrospective. One last thing to tell you is a little bit about these paintings that are here. We're just turning a little bit. So these paintings that I'm standing in front of here today were done recently for the retrospective. I wanted people to understand what it feels like to wear the clothing. So the clothes, when you put them on, they make you sort of enjoy a lightness of being. It's so exciting. I have worked with a lot of models and actors, and as I costume them or have them in my wearable art or style them, I see them physically change. They smile, they become bolder, they become more playful. And without people being able to put on these clothes that were here in the exhibit today, I wanted a way for people to understand what that feels like. And I believe that these paintings express that lightness of being that happens when you're wearing a piece of wearable art. I'll take this one down and show you. So this piece is this explosion of hearts, and it's actually sewn right to the canvas. I love to include the stitching and the painting together because this is something that I've been doing my whole life. I hope you've enjoyed the mini retrospective of my wearable art. And of course, today things have changed because we have this print-on-demand process that I told you about right in the beginning. Today, my paintings can be enjoyed on things like I'm wearing now, which are printed on demand, sustainably, and you can wear them really anywhere in life. I'm wearing them today. I'm a little dressed up, but they also work just as great on the yoga mat. So I hope that you bring some art into your life. Go out there, be yourself, enjoy the world. Think of everyone you see as walking sculpture and see, where that takes you, and, enjoy wearable art. Thanks so much for visiting me. If you want to get in touch, you can find me right here on my Facebook page or my Instagram. You can go to my website, which is Lola Lombard Wearable Paintings. And I'm sorry, that's my Instagram. You can go to lolalombard.com/shop if you want to see the wearable paintings. LolaLombard.com has sort of two sides. It has like a whole portfolio of services that make up what I've been doing as an artist. And then on the other side is the shop with all of the wearable paintings that are the print on demand and the prints and even other textile products. It was so nice to be with you all today. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much, Bardia, for joining us and for saying all these great things. Bardia, do you have any questions? If you're still here, let's see. And if anyone has any questions, go ahead. If you're watching this in a replay, feel free to just ask me on the Facebook page, and I can always answer you in a chat form. All right, well, if there's no questions, I hope to see you all later. And please join my mailing list. And, hopefully I'll see you out there wearing Lola Lombard wearable paintings or other wearable art, and you can show them to me. Okay, take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Off. Finish.